Welcome back to the challenge, where we've travelled from Kazakhstan back to Europe. We're in Spain's mountainous Basque Country for the Challenge de España, where Izki Golf is playing host to this tournament for the first time since 2003. With just 5 events left now on the road to Oman, Izki Golf and its stunning Sevi design represent a last chance for those outside the top 60 to advance to the big money tournaments in the Far and Middle East. But before we see who makes their move, time to catch up with the only Spanish winner so far this season.
Yes, for Pedro Oriol, a trip north provided the perfect opportunity to explore the world-famous Rioja wine region.
Hola, Elena.
Buenas tardes, Pedro.
¿Cómo estás?
Bienvenido.
And rather like a fine wine, in his 7th full Challenge Tour season, he feels he's matured well.
I think at the beginning of this year I was really confident that I was going to play good because I learned a lot of things during these years and I knew what I had to do this year to play good in the challenge. On the 1st of January I wrote a letter to myself saying that I was going to win on Challenge Tour and I was going to get my European Tour card back, so those were my 2 goals.
At the Rolex Trophy, Oriol put together the sort of performance even Severiano Ballesteros might have been proud of. It was a display in which a recent visit to Sevi's former home with the great man's son Javier might just have played its part.
And it was really inspirational. I got to see his golf clubs, his trophies, his everything, and I don't know why. I just took one of his visors and said, well, I'm going to take it with me, and maybe the following week I can win a tournament. So and it happened. I mean, maybe it was destiny. Before winning the Rolex, I've been on the last group a couple of times in Belgium and Sweden as well, and I felt I was close. It came in the round I wasn't expecting to win because on the Rolex I was, I think, 6 shots back. So I didn't know if I was going to win after finishing because Adrian was 18 under at what point.
His French opponent Sadier faltered on the last to take the tournament to a playoff, and after watching his opponent's wayward tee shot on the first extra hole, the Spaniard could almost taste victory.
So my hands were very shaky. Obviously I had a few thoughts that don't miss the putt, but I mean, I had 3-4 meters for birdie and I need only 2 putts. But I can tell you that this putt it was like this one at the end. It's good to see that I can do it, and I can't wait to get the job done and play in European Tour next year because I know it's going to be a good year. Cheers, guys.
Back at the course, very pleasant weather conditions, and among the players sharpening their games on the practice range, Nikolai von Dellinghausen. The 24-year-old German is in fine fettle, following a 5th-place finish in Kazakhstan, which was his 3rd top 10 in just 5 Challenge Tour starts.
It was really important to play well in Kazakhstan because I made a big move in the road to Oman. So I'm basically into the final 4 tournaments now. I couldn't ask for more right now. It's just 5 events in the books. To get my form from like the 3 wins on the Pro Golf Tour to the Challenge Tour and just to adjust pretty quickly, that surprised me a little bit.
Two others well placed on the rankings to make a charge at that top 15 were Clemence Sordet and Eric van Rooyen. The South African's season given a dramatic boost following his 4th place finish last week in Kazakhstan.
I felt like I've been playing decently well this whole season. Just haven't had that top 5 finish yet, and obviously to the Kazakhstan, big tournament, it was key. So sort of put me right in the mix of things. Guys are going to shift around quite a lot, so if you can just stick to your game and knowing that you're playing well, you're going to throw your name in the hat, so that's all you want to do.
In China, I know both courses, so it helps, and yeah, I know what I have to do to win. Like being 21st doesn't really matter because there's so many points in the last events. If you look at the past years, I've been progressing a little bit, and I feel like this year is the year, and we'll see at the end.
And as the tournament reached the weekend, Marcus Schinholt had moved into contention. A second consecutive round of 67 took him into a share of third place. Round of the day belonged to Victor Perez of France. A stunning bogey-free card of 61 saw him set the clubhouse target on Saturday at 17 under, elevating him to second spot. Jarand Ekeland Arnoy continued his recent fine form. Playing off an invite coming into the event, a second-day 63 helped him lead the field. Elsewhere, on his professional debut, Scott Gregory moved himself into a share of seventh. There was also a four-way tie for third, but at the head of the field it was looking like a two-horse race.
One of the great joys of visiting Spain is the food, and we headed out for some tapas with one of the players in contention for the Challenge de España and his caddy.
This looks nice.
Yes, it does.
As the season draws to an exciting climax, Marcus Schinholt is relishing the chance to reacquaint himself with Spain and with an old golfing friend.
We met in a tournament the first time in
2009, I think.
Yeah. Seemed to be a nice guy, and this winter we actually stayed together for, was it 3 months?
Yeah, in Spain.
Because obviously you can't practice in Sweden from November to March. We have snow and it's really cold and the courses are closed.
Marcus announced himself to the golfing world in 2015 when he led the Nordea Masters after 2 rounds while still an amateur. Later that year, he earned a European Tour card at the qualifying school.
I remember playing the first one in South Africa with Adam on the bag. We were really excited. But then after a while, when the results didn't go my way, I switched over to Challenge Tour and managed to play good in Wrestlekeimer there. I really needed it because I was way behind, maybe 100 in the rankings. To play pretty well in the end of the season made last winter a lot easier, and I was really motivated in going into this year.
Having made a promising start to 2017, a back injury in July threatened to curtail his season. That was before a top 10 finish in Kazakhstan got his year back on track.
Those 4 weeks to rest and get healthy again, it felt like a really long time. It was frustrating. Last week was huge. It's the biggest event, obviously, of the year. So to play well and be in contention in that one is beneficial for the rankings. My game is in a pretty good place right now, and just trying to make the most of the last 5 events now.
And if he can finish the season with a European Tour card, will Marcus be keeping the dynamic duo together?
Will I?
Yeah, he will. Of course he will.
Yeah, we'll see. He's playing himself, so maybe I end up on his bag in 5 years' time. I don't know.
I'll join you if you give me dinners like this.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, and cool and cloudy conditions greeted the players as all those hoping to catch runaway leaders Perez and Arnoy began their final rounds. And one of those early movers was Oliver Farr, 4 under for the front 9, the Welshman in a fine run of form after a top 10 finish in Kazakhstan. Having seen his lead cut to a single shot as the final group moved to the par 4 fifth, Arnoy calmly rolled in his first birdie of the day to put the pressure on playing partner Perez.
The Frenchman was up to the challenge, calmly rolling in his 3rd birdie of the day at the 5th to stay within 1 of Arnoy before a hole-in-one at the 6th that gave him the lead. As they reached the turn, the 2 men were level. But this was Perez's approach at the 11th. And he holed that for a birdie to regain the lead. Up ahead, Denmark's Jeff Winther was on a roll. A birdie for him at the 13th took him to 8 under and on his way to the best round of the day and a top 5 finish.
And going steadily again on Sunday, Marcus Schinholt. Shooting 67 for a 3rd day running, capped by a birdie at the last, he cemented a share of 3rd place and another satisfying week. With Arnoy beginning to falter, having made bogey on the par 3 14th, Perez extended his lead over the Norwegian at the very next hole. A final birdie of the day moving him to 24 under par for the tournament, which would ultimately prove to be enough for Perez, ranked 48th in the Road to Oman coming into the week. His maiden Challenge Tour title, a very timely boost.
Scott Gregory finished top 10. It was a three-way tie for 5th, and Oliver Farr shared 3rd with Marcus Schinault, but shooting 18 under par for the weekend. Victory went to Perez.
Victor Perez.
I can't really put it into words. I actually won in Spain last year on the Alps Tour. And so, yeah, I came here, played well for a while, and I kind of put it all together this week, and I can't really put it into words. It's amazing. When you play well, you just got to keep playing, do as good as you can, and I'm obviously going to try to stay aggressive because it worked this week, shooting this low of a number, and not going to try to change anything.